Good evening. Welcome to the Football Vloggers podcast. We've got 4 guests in with me tonight. We've got a new Doncaster Rovers vlogger as well. We'll tell you all about that in a minute. But as I go around, we've got Jake, who's Punk Chef 41. He's a Sheffield Wednesday vlogger. Our new vlogger next to him is Aaron Challoner, who is a Doncaster Rovers fan and also is a Coasters fan, aren't you? You've got 2 channels going at the same time. So we all thought Doncaster Rovers would be coming on full of joy this week, but they're not full of joy. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Underneath Aaron, we've got our regular Ben, who is Cod's Vlogs from Fleetwood. Good evening, Ben.
Evening, Lee.
And also our other Ben, who is Daw. Mr. Daw on tour.
Who's
Nottingham Forest fan. So we'll go around the tables. The first thing I'm going to ask you all is, how your team have gone on this week. So we'll start with Jake. I think you had a mixed bag, didn't you? Did you lose a game on Saturday due to?
No, basically so I wasn't on last week, so we lost 4-1 to Millwall, which wasn't fun. Team we really should be beating, but just had too much for us. Then we beat Wickham 2-0. And then we were meant to play Swansea on Saturday, and our underground heating situation, basically the boiler is knackered. And we need a new one.
Nightmare.
And we've got an owner that possibly wants to sell up at some point, but who knows?
Right. So it's just car crash, isn't it, Sheffield?
It's a roller coaster at the minute. I like it.
There's one problem after another.
It makes things interesting being a Wednesday fan, and as a content creator, it actually helps make video, make talking points. But at the same time, you don't want to see your club in this kind of situation. And it's just one of those things when you get into this situation, you kind of go, well, okay, it is what it is. We can't do anything as fans. He owns the club. It's on him. We can just support it. And if he doesn't want to sell, or if something don't want to happen, we just go back it. So hopefully we got games this week. Stoke on Tuesday, and then Birmingham on Saturday, which is must win with Birmingham now in the bottom 3.
Yeah, so we're actually climbing out of it, aren't you, Sheffield?
We were out of it, and then sodding Derby got a win.
Oi, don't talk about Derby. No, don't talk about them.
The problem is you and Derby keep doing well, and I need you to just be shit like we are and just let us do better. Problem is, everyone's hitting form at a really good time at the minute. And it's that last of the season kind of going for it, if you know what I mean. You've got to win everything to stay up. I think it's something like you need 50 points to stay up this season. Come on, remember at the start of the season, I was just happy when we got up 3 points, let alone anything when we had our minus points. So to see us on positive points, it's nice, but I think we can still get out of it, but it can be close.
Yes, it does. Well, it is going to be close. I mean, you had a good fight back. As long as they don't deduct you anymore due to your blood.
And we still don't have a permanent caretaker manager that's doing it all at the minute. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Who's the caretaker manager at Sheffield Wednesday?
Neil Thompson,
Neil Tom.
Ipswich player, I believe.
Right. Okay, we're going to move on quickly and it's already in the chat. Let's just have a look what's been said here, because a few people, the Posh Podcast has said, hello, Forever DFC, watching your vlogs, mate. So you've got a fan there, Posh Podcast. Ryan Dunbar's already said, Coaster Chal, with an exclamation mark. So a few people know your channel already. So tell us a little bit about, obviously it's been a bad week for Doncaster, hasn't it? We did chat, didn't we, Ben, last week, and you were saying that on paper, Doncaster should have beat Fleetwood, and Fleetwood were on a bad run, and it was obviously in the stars for Doncaster to win, but of course that would mean that Fleetwood would win. I think you said that, didn't you, Ben, at the time?
I did. And
yes, you did.
I'll tell you something before you come back on to me. I watched the game for 8 minutes. I knew we'd win. Even when they went 1-0 up, I watched the game for 8 minutes very closely, just little movements. I always knew we'd win. So I'm just glad that it came true.
Right. So
I'll come back to that in a minute.
So Doncaster Rovers flying before this week, looking like you could go top quite easily if you had a good week. I think you would. Would you have gone top if you'd have won both games this week? You had games in hand, didn't you? Another 6
we've still
points
got
on
a couple
you.
of. Yeah,
You
still
still
got. I
can.
think. We can still go with top. There's a couple of sides, like 2 or 3 sides with us that are on the same points as us. We've still got a game in hand on Lincoln and 3 on Hull, who we play this week. So, top isn't out of the question. I think this week was just, this past week has just been a bad week and a great season, but every champion's going to have a bad week. So.
So what happened? Because we've been, obviously we normally get 18 Dapper comes on. He can't come on this week. He's working. So you're obviously subbing in for him. But he was saying that, you got rid of your best player to Preston in, the man that really was probably your favourite player, would he be your best player? And then but you really invested very well. And he thought the players you brought in, you were looking really good. And everything was looking brilliant, and then the wheels fell off this week. Why would that be? Have you any idea, or is it just a weird week of football?
You know what? I think it was a combination of different things. I think I think I agree with Ben what he said about Fleetwood. I think 8 minutes in, it looked like Fleetwood were going to take the game to us because we didn't put any pressure on Fleetwood. We didn't keep the ball for long enough. We kept giving it away. And it was very, very clear that Fleetwood were going to attack us and, press on that sort of weaknesses very, very quickly. And that's what happened. Same with Sunderland. Again, it was the same mistakes, and it felt like we didn't learn our lessons. And hopefully going into Accrington, we've learned those lessons. And I think that one big thing to take out of this week, starting from Fleetwood and going into Sunderland, is we missed our captain big time. We absolutely missed our captain with injury. Hopefully he's back for Hull. He may not be back on Wednesday for Accrington, but I'm hoping.
Who is your captain?
Tom Anderson now, obviously. So suffered a concussion injury, so obviously he had to miss the next game. He's probably going to miss Accrington on Wednesday. But from what I've seen today, Moore's come out and said he's doing well. There's no reactions to the injury. He's going to be hopefully back against Hull on Saturday. And, we'll go again this week because, like I said, we have to put every champion's going to have a bad week, or every automatic promotion team's going to have a bad week or two at some point during the season. So, it's one of those things we have to, we suffer the highs and we go for the lows. So, it's one of those things.
You go through, every team, no team, wins every match all the way through the season, but it was just at a point where those 2 games this week would have 6 points onto you would have put you where in the table? Would that have actually taken you top?
It would have probably put us. It would have put us top, but I'm not going to let this week distract us from what has been probably one of our best seasons since Sean O'Driscoll took us to the Championship for the first time in 50 years back in 2008. It has been one of our best seasons since John Ryan's took in charge, since the Blunt ownership came. It's definitely been the best season of the current ownership, and it's been one of our best seasons of modern eras after that, hilarious calamity of a joke of a season back in the early 90s. We're back on form. We're back in this exciting position now with a wonderful Premier League and Championship manager with such a good squad with young players. So I think it's just a bad week and a great season.
I think it was clapped by Darren Moore at the end with the Sunderland players as well. Seeing that clip going round, I thought that was really nice gesture. If you hadn't seen it at the end of the game, he was just in the tunnel. Just I saw that. That was wonderful. I mean, it showcases the character of our manager and what kind of guy he is and what kind of, mentality, not just from him, but he's brought into this squad, because John Bostock came out today and said, we can't win the title when we're not good enough. They want to get better. They want to learn from their mistakes. And, that's what this week's all about. And he's brought that mentality of versatility, horses for courses, bringing that attacking-minded football, playing from the back, and he's got the defensive variabilities with him, hopefully without Anderson as well, to deal with that playing from the back and the pressure from other teams. So we've brought that mentality, and Darren was an absolute gentleman.
Yeah, Yeah, it all sounds good at Doncaster. I mean, we obviously played you a little bit earlier on this season and we were 2-0 up at half time. You probably remember cruising it as far as I was concerned. And you didn't look much, if I'm being honest. In second half, they changed the formation. We just, I don't know, we didn't turn up for the second half and you beat us 3-2. And I was really disappointed, if I'm being honest. But I thought in that second half, you looked a much better team you did in the first half. And I can see why you're a dangerous team. We went to Doncaster last season and in Jane's away day reviews, you came second. I would have put you as the top away day. We really had a good time there. Very friendly club, and the fan zone, everything. If you ever see our video, was really, really good. So yeah, no, we like Donny. No problem with Donny. Thanks. We'll just move on to Ben at Cod Vlogs. Now you've had a mixed week. Ben has got Simon Grayson, haven't you, now as manager?
Yeah.
And it's been a bit of a mixed bag, hasn't it? I mean, an amazing performance against Doncaster, then kind of brought back down to reality against Portsmouth, was it, Ben? What do you think so far of Grace? I know it's early days, but what do you think in Fleetwood land?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't agree with being maybe brought down back to reality.
Right. No, just back down to earth.
Yeah.
I thought you'd go on from there. You're beating Doncaster, top of the league. You might go on and get another win, but it didn't happen, did it? Why?
Yeah, so, like I say, 8 minutes I watched us. I was confused at watching Doncaster. I've watched him for a couple of weeks prior, and against Lincoln, I watched him and I thought, ooh, good win. You have to scrappy win. A couple of wins before that, they just squeezed over the line.
Was this the 2 penalty saves as well?
Yeah,
Ben?
the 2 penalty saves. A couple of wins before, winning against Oxford, even if they scored, they won it. I just thought they're gettable. Do you know what I mean? They weren't. I never thought they were unbelievable. I'll be honest with you. I thought out of all the top 6 sides, I'd like to play Doncaster, and they've never won at Highbury. I thought after they got that first goal, it really reminded me of Fleetwood 4 years ago when we finished, I think, 4th in League One, and we won, I think, 20 games, 21 games. I think we won 16 of those or 15 of those by a goal. And it just reminded me that get that goal and defend on it and try and hit us on the counter, which is a dangerous game against the back 3 of Fleetwood, who defensively have been okay. I think that's only 11 goals in the last 15 games conceded, which for a side that are struggling, that's an excellent record. So, I thought we'd always get back into the game, and Vassell's goal was brilliant. He turns, shoots into the corner. Goalkeeper, you might be asking questions. Second goal, whoever passed it back, idiot, absolute idiot.
Magic Gomez.
Yeah,
absolute
Magic Gomez.
Idiot needs to be dropped.
You don't like him. Absolutely, whatever the keeper's doing, he's another idiot. Dumb and dumber. Put it that way.
Falcon.
Good goalkeeper. I was singing his praises, 3 clean sheets and 5 before that, but that is probably one of the worst goalkeeping I've ever seen. I thought,
rookie mistake.
You're 30 yards out from goal. Why are you coming out?
It's a rookie mistake. He's a youngster. He'll learn from that.
He will, but it cost you the game, and that might cost you promotion. At the end of the year. So
And Magic Gomez left Leeds. There's the reason why he left Leeds, because he's not good enough.
I think he's an all right player, but maybe not championship standard. I think maybe
he had a good start to the season. But injury just caught up with him, and then he's not really recovered since come back.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. And then the third goal, brilliant, absolutely terrific. But again, awful defending. To let Danny Andrew, Doncaster fans know about, I think, as a left back, I think there's Butler at Peterborough, and him, the best strikers of a ball in League One as a left back. On his weaker foot, 20-odd yards out from goal. On his right foot, weaker foot, top corner, 3-1, superb win. All 3 goals came from 3 mistakes. So,
And why did Danny Andrew celebrate? Why did he celebrate? That's just so disrespectful.
Maybe because, his fans, the Doncaster fans gave him a bit of a hard time when he left.
Well, it's all right. We've got Reece James.
Anyway, let us finish. And then Plymouth came about. Not Portsmouth, Lee.
Plymouth. Sorry, Plymouth. Wow, I don't like that.
No, and then it was a game really that I thought we deserved a point out of. I thought it was two sides that didn't play the best. You know, Plymouth are not, again, a form side. They were 7 unbeaten prior, 4 wins, 3 draws, and some good sides in there. You know, like of Sunderland. So, you know, they've not been, you know, getting lucky. They're a good side. A mistake by Holgate, who I'm not going to criticise. He's, you know, 18, 19, same year age as me. You know, good lad. From whenever I spoke to him, and you know, humble. You know, his loan spell at Altrincham early in the season really helped him when he started, and I thought the loan spell he needed to play regular again. He's come back in the back 3, and then we changed about 70 minutes, you know, to go for. I thought his substitutions maybe a little bit late, but you know, I'll trust him. And yeah, it was one of those games where we didn't create much, but we had chances to shoot, but we didn't quite get a shot away. So, you know, I'm all right with it. 1-0, good side. You know, a side that, you know, that are going to be down there. You're not going to win every week, are you? So, if I'm honest with you, I just want the season to end, get to 50-odd points, stay up, rebuild next year.
What's can you see any difference to the football with Grayson?
Absolutely huge. Defensively,
yeah. He is good at sorting out a defence.
But we didn't need our defence sorting out, you know. But, you know, we're singing the ball around better. The front 2, you know, Madden was playing out wide. You know, Paddy Madden, you know, he's 30-odd years old. He's one of the best strikers in League One, you know.
What's he doing on the wing?
Since 2018, only 2 players have got more goals and assists than Paddy Madden. So, you know, that is an unbelievable record. I think it's 60 goals and assists since that. So, for a striker, it's unbelievable. Played out wide, scored a hat-trick of them. Since then, you know, he's been put out there for Ched. Up front, in a 2, perfect with Vassell. And that partnership will click. It will, because they're 2 good strikers at this level, and they have got goals in them.
Vassell's a good player, Ben.
Yeah,
he's a good player, Carl Vassell. He's just a bit injury-prone. That's his only problem. If you can keep him fit, he's all right, but he is a bit of a sick note.
If you look at every League One player, right, and some players are unbelievable, they will have one reason why they are a League One player. Injury.
Yeah.
Ken's, in my opinion, is a championship goalkeeper. A couple of bad games, guaranteed. Right. Distribution, maybe let him down. You look at Blackpool, you think, you know, Medine, you know, injury that late of, you know, cost him. You look at your team. I'm sure your players, you know, you think, oh, they could play a league above, but there'll be a reason why they don't.
There's always some little flaw, isn't there, in these players?
That's why the League One players.
That's why the League One, and we're all trying to fit these League One players make them into a team, aren't we? Everybody's trying to do that. What I like
about Grayson,
go on.
He's using the youth. That Pilly wanted to use. Barton didn't want to use it, you know, because he wanted to use. You know, we were looking tight in midfield. Paul Coops, 30-odd years old. Whelan's 37. You know, we've got, you know, Mulgrew at 34. We've got Duffy, you know, Evans. You know, the quick releases, you know, they'll do well for a bit. But then we have to buy, you know, load more again the next summer. So you did it in the summer. You bought really well. We've got Holgate, James Hill, Jay Mattetti, who's doing really well out on loan, Shaden Morris, Harrison Holgate, Ryan Rydell, Harvey Saunders. These players are developing under Grayson. They're getting minutes. And, you know, we can maybe sell them on for bigger fees in the future, like we did with Amari Bell, like we did with Devante Cole, who, don't get me started on him, the worst attitude of a striker I have ever seen. So,
I mean, just pull up there at a minute.
Oh, he's doing well at Motherwell, to be fair. I think he's like.
Have you heard? Stephen Roberts in the comments says, you heard the rumour Blackpool and Fleetwood to be given extension to the league. Are they giving? Why is that? Is that because we've got so many games in hand or something? I can't understand.
I'm not being funny, right? All I'm saying this now, the EFL can't compensate for bad pitches or bad weather. Do you know what I mean? It's not. If you look at COVID, there's been no COVID call-offs since, you know, the new year.
Just the damn weather, but it's beautiful today. It's been a lovely day today. So I think the weather's turning now, and I think those days are behind us of cancelled matches. So hopefully, I think they were saying with Blackpool, we've still got 2 free Tuesdays if we need them. So, you know, so we can fulfil our fixtures before the end of the season.
So it basically said extending season to fulfill their fixture cannot be ruled out by the EFL director. That's what come out today.
Oh, right. Okay. But I think that, you know, they were saying that we can do it. You know, we have got enough Tuesdays in, but it's going to be literally Saturday, Tuesday all the way now.
Fair, we still got to redo the Swansea game for us. And it's like, where do you play that? We've been told we might play that in April. So
that's good if you're winning, though. You know what I mean? But it depends with Blackpool squad. It's a small squad that can sometimes either work well or, you know.
It's the same for us as well, though. We got quite a small squad with what we got, and the thing is, we were doing really well at home. It was like first time since 2016 we've won back-to-back home games, and we're finally on a good run of form. And then our pick decided to like go to shit.
Well, in my opinion, my top 6 is done now. After Saturday, 5 of the current top 6 will get the top 6. I can't see Doncaster finishing the top 6. I think Oxford, the form that they are on, they are going. Nobody's talking about.
Didn't Sam Winnock go at weekend?
Yeah, he scored the third against Wigan. I know, and the floodlights set on fire as well. So
He did it.
I think they've either won 9 or 10 on the spin.
Yeah, they were.
And Carl Robinson, terrific manager. They always go on this, they perform. Oxford will finish in the playoffs this year. I'm sure of it.
You could be right. I mean, Doncaster, you've got a big week coming up, haven't you? With
Accrington on Wednesday and
Accrington,
Hull
and
on
they're
Saturday.
another one that have got a
They're
chance in
very
Hull.
good,
So
they
are
fight-
good.
yeah.
So
They got 6 past Bristol Rovers, I think. So they're
Weekend kind of thing. Because I got something for Door. When they signed Glenn Murray, I said he would bag goals, and so far I'm right.
yes, well, we're going to move on to Door now because we've been sat there patiently, haven't we, Door? Well, I'm last, so. Well, we've got to talk about your club now. There's a couple of things before you start, because there's things aimed at you, and I've seen them in the comments. So Lisa's having a little go. What's she saying? Let's just go back to Lisa because she's going on about Derby. She says apparently. Where was she? Something
YouTube comment rant time.
Yeah, there she are. She says that tell you what, Rooney's doing a fantastic. Take out the Rotherham games. He won 5 out of the last 6. Why are you clapping? So...
Because he's doing a good job.
He's an experienced player and he's getting that managerial stance now in his debut in managing. I think he's doing a good job. Whether Derby survives or not, I think they will, along with Nottingham Forest. I think Sheffield Wednesday will come close, but I think it'll just go down to the final day. But I think that Rooney's doing a good job with Derby.
We've got like Derby and Forest, I think, near the last 2 games of our season.
I reckon Wickham and Rotherham will still be in it. I think Wickham won't be a down and out before the final day. I think they'll still be in it because they're still in with a fighting chance.
I agree with that, but I do think
it's tight down there, isn't it? Anyway, Dor, so talking about your own club, Nottingham Forest, how are things in Nottingham, Dor? Tell us all about it. How did they go on this week?
We played Bournemouth, and it was to be fair, it was a fantastic point. Point.
Was that a home or away, Dor?
Home.
Home.
It was a fantastic point. Because we played out their ground and it was awful. And a point against a team that's in the top 6.
Yeah.
Can't complain. No. They didn't have one shot on target.
Wow.
At all. And Murray almost scored again, but got cleared off the line. But the whole round of it was a good point. And
Bournemouth are a weird team at me, though, aren't they?
They are. To be fair, don't forget, I don't rate him as a manager. He done awful for Middlesbrough. Don't get me wrong, he's a great man. He's a great player for Leeds and Middlesbrough. But as a manager, it's a strange one. But we could have won it. But I think it's 1 defeat in 10. And can I complain about it? No, I can't. So what is it?
I tell you something, Dor. I thought your stream.
Glad you had a shave, says Lisa. It makes you look younger, Dor.
I was just saying, I thought Dor's stream on Saturday was the best one yet.
Oi! Oi!
No, but I agree with you.
Tell us why. Sorry, why was Dor?
I just said his stream on Saturday was the best one yet because his mates did it. No, I agree with you, Southampton managers, because I was listening to a podcast lately, and they were talking about Thierry Henry as a manager, and maybe Michael Owen going to manage. It's like you're such a good player, and you're like, oh, do this. It's like I can't do that. You're Thierry Henry. I'm this. I can't do that. And it's like you sometimes can't coach them how to do it. Whereas sometimes the worst of a player, doesn't always work out like that. Look at I know Josie's not the greatest anymore, but Klopp, Nuno's only a goalkeeper.
Yeah. Can you imagine a team talk by Michael Owen? You fall asleep.
Not listening to Lee.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that was quick.
Oh, blimey. He's in already at me, blimey. He's in already. He's in already. Cheers, Ben. Is it that bad listening to me? Post in the comments if you think it's bad listening to me.
If you win, it's unbearable, but if you lose, it's lovely. Oh.
There was somebody in the comments last week posted that you were the only one talking sense. So great. The only one on the stream talking sense is the young lad from Fleetwood, he said. So I hope he's here again today.
Is he drinking? What is he drinking?
Well, that's what he said. None of us were talking sense bar Ben. So
I always talk sense.
Ben hasn't lived yet to go through it properly.
Exactly.
Yes. You've got to have lived a life of disappointment to get as bitter and twisted as you get as you're going along. The older you get, the more bitter and twisted you get this damn game. Let's just go have a look through the comments.
Yeah, can I finish? I've not finished.
Go on.
Yet.
Yeah, sorry, Dor.
Go on, that's it. No, you forget about me. I wait for another half an hour like this.
No, go on.
It don't matter. I'm like this. Tell me when we wake up, yeah?
No, please put the edgy ones comments up, please, Lee. Please, about Dor, please.
The edgy ones.
I mean, he's got a comment about Dor.
All right, okay. Let me find
it. Show me. What comment?
This one?
No, not that one.
Okay, no, further down. Not that
Wait.
No,
put that back up.
I'm being serious. I said to my mum about 50 minutes, I have got grey hairs coming. I am being serious. I have been getting grey hairs.
Yes.
I am worried. I mean, I'm 19.
The stress is getting
5 weeks. I'm getting grey hairs.
Rovers Vlogs is here. Good evening, Rovers.
Don't worry about it. I started having grey hairs when I was 18, so don't worry about it. The ladies will love you, so don't worry about it.
Nappers, all you do is you do what Dor does. He gets his little girl felt tips and just colours them in.
Exactly. Wait, minute. Look at Lisa. Lisa's trying to flirt with me, but I got declined because you know, Forest and Derby, I've got to decline. So Lisa,
you can't cross.
Lisa, I received your Valentine's card, but it went straight in a green bin.
Recycled.
No, green bin, not recycled.
I can find these blooming edgy ones. Can
I got removed from Tinder this week. Not a great use of chat up lines.
Was it that one? Donut on the crisps? Is that the one you mean?
Yeah.
This is the negativity. This is the negativity that we get when Nottingham Forest are in a relegation battle. We suffer the effects of negativity.
Turns asking, are you cut out? Right, carry on, Dor, with Nottingham Forest. Obviously, there's more. There's more.
Why is everyone picking on me? I'm the one that's been silent like for 20.
Because you're always slagging everybody off, Dor. So
I'm not saying it
you dish it out, but you can't take it, Dor. That's your problem.
No, listen to me. I can
take it. Arsenal.
I can take anything, but when I'm silent like this, when I'm like this for 20 minutes, hearing you, I'm like, yeah. And I get picked on. You know what?
Dor. Can join in the conversation, even though it's not you on the stage. You are allowed to comment.
Can we just say, by the way, this is the same Dor that we had 20 minutes of echo problems about Dor that we had to sort out to get him on the show. So Dor, you had your 20 minutes before we even came on the show.
This is absolutely true, folks. We did.
And this is what happens when.
By the way, I haven't even had my chance to speak yet, Dor. So
no, we don't care about you, Lee. We don't care about you. This is big.
Well, there's nothing to care about this week because we didn't have any games, so that's it. That's me done, finished. Both games were off. The Oysters not doing an underground eating on the soil eating
on the beach. That's what Lee did.
This is Lee's channel, right? This is Lee's channel, so he should be on. He didn't play, so get off, Lee. People put a comment. Get Lee out.
Just go.
Just go out. In the comments, Lee out. Lee out.
Yes, put in the comments if you want me out. But
out.
Yes, due to the Oysters not getting undersoil heating when they went in the Premier League with £96 million, because I don't know if you know, but apparently they got away with it because you were allowed a season's grace to put it in. You had to have it in for your
the money.
Yeah, you had to have it in for the second season, so they didn't bother putting it in the first, and then they never put it in again, and we never got back in the Premier League. So the underground heating didn't go in, and of course, both matches were.
When the fans did, they all started taking heaters to the ground to plug in and see if we could get it working.
Did it work?
No.
No, it was very disappointing that both of our matches were off because I was quite looking forward to it. But we're back. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Little one's in with door. What's her name again?
You're muted.
Okay. What's her name?
No, she said Lee out. Get Lee out. That's what she said.
Oh, Lee out. Blooming out.
Lee out.
Okay.
That's what she said.
To be fair, Lee, she must like you because she obviously does her dad, so she must like boring content creators.
Nappers.
Jesus.
We got more fire than the
Gunners today.
See? People, this is why I always come on and I'm a victim. Oh, wait, I'm not going to say that because I get a Scottish one.
Get that clip, mate.
Oh, they don't get
Tonight's live's got more fire than the Gunners, and that's speaking from Arsenal FC.
Well, we could actually talk about this. I know it was mentioned in our group chat. Yeah, we had a there was a little bit of a discussion in the group chat, wasn't there? About
have you got the clip to play?
No.
Oh,
Jake,
someone
you
get
the clip to play.
Has anyone got the clip to play?
Which is the clip? The clip with Thogden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it up.
I interviewed Thogden. They're nice people.
Yeah, there was I don't know if you know, but
This will divide opinions.
It will divide opinions. Thogden asked the guy off Arsenal Fan TV to come on and give him a prediction. Was it just a prediction? I think was it, or was it more than that?
Until we've got the clip.
Okay.
I'd wait until we got the clip to show people, then we can discuss it.
The Dalek West Ham's here. Top four West Ham. He's very happy. The Dalek. He is top four. Is the Dalek exterminate? We've also got in the chat. We've got SPFL behind the lens. Who we're going to bring in later because he does. He's actually Ryan Dunbar's dad, and he's worked with Rangers Academy and other academies, and he's like a sports analyst. And
oh wow.
So we will have him in later in the chat, and we'll bring him in and we can have a chat with him because it sounds really interesting. He's only just started a YouTube channel about it actually, so we'll give him a bit of a promotion. But if anybody's like watching this and they're interested in stats and all that sort of stuff and working out, he goes and films games for youth academies and analyzes it and tells them how many passes and all this sort of stuff. It's quite a hard job actually, so we will bring him in.
Gurney. We've never said Thogden's not a nice lad.
No, we don't mind Thogden.
We're just discussing the comment, and I can see views for it. Lee might, obviously we discussed it yesterday. We all had a different opinion on it. I thought it was all right. Other people didn't agree with it. So look, when the clip comes up, we can all discuss it. But
I'll have my opinion when the clip comes up because I understand.
Wait, I'll put it in the private chat and see if you can bring it up to play it.
Okay, let's have a look.
I was going to say, I think months ago, it was like near the start of the season, I got the chance to interview Thogdad, and he was speaking about Bolton Wanderers, and like I know some people can. You are?
He spoke about Bolton. He spoke about Bolton. Are you sure?
Yeah, it was when Keith Hill left, and he was sort of saying who's going to be the next manager.
No, he spoke about Bolton. Don't lie.
Oh. No, it was.
He never speaks about Bolton, man.
But the point about it is, some people may not disagree or agree with their opinions, but I can say from experience, they are, like Robbie. When I got the chance to interview Robbie, they're really nice guys.
Right. Let me ask you a question, Mike.
Do you get
the best I can do is give you the audio from it if you just want to hear what was said. I'm just going to go back in the chat and find.
Yeah, I want to see this clip. I haven't seen it yet, so I want to see what.
You don't really need to see the clip because you know what Thogdad looks like. You just want to know exactly what he said.
Lee, it's in the private chat.
I know, but I can't figure out how to get it. I've got it. It goes into another tab, and then how do I show that? Can I share? I don't think I can share my own.
I've got very good opinions.
I'm not being funny, Lee. You've not mastered this 21st century, like, have you?
I haven't, mate. Honestly, I'm still in the 19th century. I've been here that long.
Your choice of clothes is still back in the 10th century.
When dinosaurs rolled on the earth, then is that what you're going to tell me when I was here? Yeah. Dinosaurs were still around. I don't know whereabouts is this blooming thing in there.
Yeah. For a bit of banter, comment down below, guys, if you think Arsenal's going to get relegated.
No, well, definitely. I mean, they are in a bit. Well, I think they'll get out of it. To be honest.
There's 6
Before-
points.
got a good
Right.
one.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's see if you can hear if you can hear this.
They got a good win against Leeds yesterday.
Press play so you can do it. And turn up your USB.
What were you saying, Ben?
Arsenal, you talk about relegation, but the 6 points off the top 4.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's how tight the league is at the middle of the table at the minute. You could be 6 points off relegation and then 6 points off top. But I think it was
It's
looking at
so far
one
back in the
stage,
archive.
sort of earlier on in the season, that Arsenal were going to be in a struggle, and we didn't know where the next win's going to come from. But fair play to them. They've bounced back, and they've sort of took advantage of the way that Leeds play and how open they play.
Jake, can you send me the link in the WhatsApp chat? And
Yeah, I can try.
yeah, just
So,
send it me
right, so
there.
basically, right. Before we get the clip up, basically, this is what he said in short term, right? He asked Robert for if he go on his Premiership predictions, and then Robbie said no, he wants to get paid. That's what it is. But
Yes, he wanted payment for going on.
but I understand both sides. With Fogden, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to him. He's got a big following.
He has.
He does Premiership content. He gets massive views.
And can I just say, no one here is hating on what he's done, because what he's done is huge. We all want to one day get to the levels he got to.
We all want to, yeah. I admire him.
Let me finish. Right, let me finish. Right, look, I'm not hating on him, but if someone like who has so much high views, like Fogden does,
Yes,
and a big corporation,
Double the size.
yeah, of his size, I don't blame Robert, because end of the day, no one's looking after me, no one's looking after you lot when it comes to money. Everyone's their own man of being a YouTuber. And Fogden, he can say, I've had him on my channel, but you can't disrespect a guy who's on 1.3 subscribers, the biggest YouTuber ever, and then call him a prick.
Yeah, well, this is this probably is.
With.
I don't think he should have called him a prick. I think that was a mistake.
No.
And I don't think he should have really dug him out in public either. I don't think that was.
What? I've got a personal view on this, because I've had one half of the Theo Thogdad partnership, and I've had Robbie on before on my channel as well. Neither of I know the levels of subs and that are different, and the situation's different, but there was no. I was speaking about this with Goldbridge as well. There was no mention of money with Robbie or Thogdad. There was no mention of money with my collab. I don't know where the money situation came from. I first heard about it in the last few days with I talked about it with Goldbridge. I didn't know where it came from.
For me, it feels like it's been said for a bit of drama, a bit of YouTube drama kind of thing, get a bit of talking points, and it feels that kind of way when not needed.
You know, yesterday, this is how clever Fogden is. He's clever because he slagged off AFTV and they're Arsenal. And don't remember, Fogden, he does most of his watch-alongs for Arsenal. And if you notice, he didn't do a watch-along for Arsenal yesterday because he know he would have got a backlash from the Arsenal fans and the AFT fans. And after that,
the biggest game he could have done, Leeds.
Exactly, Leeds on Arsenal. And it's clever.
Very clever marketing if you think of it that way.
Yeah, and afterwards, I think the game afterwards, I think it was, who was it? It was Everton and someone else. What was it?
Right, I'm ready. I'm ready with the clip, guys. Finally.
Put it on.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, okay.
See what people's opinion is. Comment below.
Okay.
People get Robbie on Prem predictions.
Oh, it's impossible. Do we know?
Well, I have a contact, and I asked him.
Yeah.
And he was like, at first, he's like, yeah, I'll ask him. I'll sort it out.
Yeah.
This is the guy that manages him, right?
Yeah.
And basically, he's the first YouTuber. Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV is the first YouTuber to come back to me.
Yeah.
And say, I won't do it unless you pay me.
You're joking.
I'm not joking.
No.
I wasn't going to say it, but someone's asking.
No.
Robbie won't come on Prem predictions unless he's paid.
You're joking.
I'm not joking. He said to me, I only take paid opportunities. I'm like, you prick. I'm sorry,
You're
you prick.
joking.
I've had Goldbridge on, Ben Foster, all these big names who have done it because it takes 10 minutes to slap your camera on. People are saying, "Get."
There you go. So that was it.
Sounds a little bit staged. Well,
Right. For me, stage, first of all.
Is it
His
stage?
dad-
It's
I'm not being funny.
It-
His dad must know because they do the channel together.
Yeah.
They both have to guess. Goldbridge, I've had him on my channel. Again, brilliant guest. I just don't agree with him, He's like a little, a little boy who, who's about 6, 7 years old, who doesn't get their own way. I want that T-shirt from Mummy.
It's like what
Mummy
Dor
doesn't
said.
buy me the T-shirt. I'm going to hiss and fit until you buy me that T-shirt. Otherwise, I'll scream my house down.
See, when I
think
listen to
it's
that
so
clip,
pathetic.
when I listen to that clip, that specific bit near the end, when it was like Robbie came back and said, "I only do paid opportunities." Sorry, but that's absolutely rubbish because, for one, he worked with me for free on my channel.
No.
Not true.
Stop there. Right. Listen to what this is what I said.
Maybe
Fogden.
you thought Fogden was a prick and wanted payment.
Yeah, no, this is what it's like. Fogden gets so much views from his content.
Clever marketing, social media, though.
Say again.
Clever marketing, social media.
Yeah. So this
It's certainly got people talking, hasn't it? It's got people
talking about it.
I understand. I understand Robbie saying if you're using me, use me, the biggest guy on YouTube, and I'm going on someone else's channel that's is big as well.
Also, remember, Robbie's just about to bring out a brand new channel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point. And if Fogden, like I said, he's almost on 500,000 subscribers. Listen
And
to
he'll
me,
get to that mark.
Exactly. He's going to get to that mark regardless.
Could Fogden? Would you think Fogden's making quite a bit of dough? Would you say by now on 500,000 is doing quite well? Do you think he could have afforded to pay him to come on?
Well,
we don't know how much he was actually wanting, do we? Was it a tenner?
He's paying an editor and a thumbnail maker. So,
well, let's put it this way. Remember when?
Well, you probably have to pay an editor in the end because
the gaming YouTuber on YouTube. Huge PewDiePie, right?
Yeah, PewDiePie.
He did the whole thing a couple of years ago where he said, "I will delete my channel if I get 50 million subs." He got 50 million subs. He deleted his second channel. He didn't say which channel he was deleting. He got 50 million subs on his main channel, but deleted his second. It's just very clever marketing. And
it is.
If I said I don't know, I could say someone against lepers on social media. Do you think that's going to get hacked up on social media?
No, because he's not big enough. We're not big enough to affect anything. You've got to be in the millions. But when you are up there in 500,000, you've kind of got to be a little bit careful about what you say.
Listen, the guy's clever. The guy's clever. What he done yesterday was clever, and I don't know.
But it goes.
Right. Let me ask a question. Right? Would you want to get paid? If you went on someone else's big channel, would you want to get paid?
No.
That's why.
Why? Because
not at the moment.
I like doing
if you went on AFTV and they said,
but I'm not that arrogant to go.
No. Well, listen what I'm trying to say. If you went on AFTV, the biggest platform on football YouTube, they'll get, I don't know, at least 100k views, and their money is going in their back pocket. Wouldn't you ask for I don't know, 50 quid? If it was I don't know, Ben, if Arsenal were playing Fleetwood, and they asked you to say, could you come on my channel?
It would be nice. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Gurney's comment, I find that, thing is with Lee, he's a smaller YouTuber, obviously, similar to what he does with me, you know what I mean? Getting to, we're similar, marks. But Robbie has 1.5. Robbie has 1.5 million. This is the point that you're missing. Robbie has 1.5 million nearly. He gets millions and millions of views every week. He's had his own talk show. Everybody knows him. And it's Robbie. What's he going to say? And imagine if he said Arsenal going to win 4-0. Arsenal lose 1-0 to Leeds. The amount of backlash is going to go on Thogden's video, laughing at Robbie. The amount of views, the amount of clout, he'll earn it back anyway. So I can see a reason why he's asking for payment. It does take time.
I also look at the reverse.
His career as well. Robbie, this is his job.
He's self-employed as well. He's self-employed.
So
Yeah.
on that,
He's got to earn money from somewhere.
Yeah.
I know his live teams have stopped. I know they were back yesterday, but they stopped for a while. That's where they earn, the majority of the money. And
I look at the reverse of this as well. You look from Theo and Thogdad point of view. Imagine if he was asking someone to go on the channel, and I mean, let's use Thogdad for example, because he's part of the Thogden channel. So it's pretty much like getting Theo on. Like I said before, I got Thogdad on for free. I got Robbie on for free. There was no talk of money whatsoever. And the fact I was looking at the reverse of this, it's like, well, if Thogdad or Theo asked someone else to come on their channel to do predictions, or AFTV did the reverse and asked them to come on, and Theo said, "Sorry, will you willing to pay me if I go on?" It's sort of like, well, it's like karma's a bit of a karma comes back around in a way, because if you sort of like, I mean, that's how beef starts. If they don't come on, sorry, I want to get paid, and then it's the other way around. It's sort of, well, you've done this and you've done this. It starts to become a bit of a screaming match. It starts to become point scoring in a way, and that's how people start finding out. But like I said, there's no talk of money when they're asking me, so I don't know where this came from.
Listen, I'm not a fan of. I'm a fan of Fogden when he does his bolting vlogs. That's it.
I don't mind him. I've said thing. I think he's decent at what he's done. He's done very well to get to where he is. They're
lovely people.
No. The thing is arrogant. That's the difference with Fogden. He's arrogant.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Mike, to the Blackburn fan. How come? When's the last time has he done a Bolton content?
Yeah, well, this is the one thing that I think gripes a lot of people that he just sacked off Bolton.
When's the last time he's done a Bolton content?
He hasn't done one.
Months ago. Months.
He's left them, but he said he was. He said he was not going to do it because it wasn't doing any good for his channel, and I kind of get that because it's hard. It's hard. You're not going to get 500,000 subscribers watching Bolton go down into League One. Of course he's clever, right? And I admire him for that. I just don't think he was good digging him out on. I don't think it was right to dig him out.
Yeah,
I'm not digging him out.
I don't think he's.
No, I mean he shouldn't have dug Robbie out on his. I don't think he needed to. Although somebody was asking the question, weren't they? But how was somebody asking how would somebody even know?
Robbie can't win from this. If he doesn't want to come on the channel, he'd probably slag him off. But then, all Thogden wants is a yes. Some people that you come across aren't going to say yes to come on your channel. Like, I've been asked to go on some channels and I've said, look, I don't think this is quite right for me because I don't want to say these things, But I've said it in a nice way and, it's been, not published. But I just think he's done it in a way that I don't like. I like the guy. I think he's good at what he does. I just don't like the way that, he wanted payment. What the P word. I just think, why do?
We don't even know what payment he wanted, though, do we? We don't even know. Was he asking for $5,000? Was he asking for no?
One thing I always say: if someone respects me on their channel, and it goes well, and I feel like it's going somewhere, I'll carry on going. But if it's, I don't enjoy it and I don't get any enjoyment from it, and I just think, what's going on here? And I don't enjoy this person's content, I won't go on that person's channel. And I've said that from day one.
There was no need to make it public. He could have kept it quiet, and that was it.
Should we be expected to do? Should we be expected to do everything for free? That's the other thing as well. Because it does cost a lot of money to do this. People, probably don't realise the amount of work that goes into putting these things together, and the amount we've got to spend on. Say again.
Me and my bank balance. I bought lights, and then he goes, "You should buy this microphone. That one broke, so I had to buy a new microphone." And then he goes, "Buy an adapter." He goes, buy a new internet, buy a new phone. I'm like, Lee, man, you sent me back $2,000.
I think the cheapest thing you got was the adapter I told you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
not using that.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
What I will say, looking at this in the middle, and I'll always, I'm in the middle on this one because I've worked with Robbie, I've worked with Thog Dad, and I've talked to Theo multiple times. I, on a personal level, respect both of them because they helped me a lot. And looking in the middle, it's sort of like, I don't know really. It's sort of, obviously you can't do everything for free, but it's sort of like, I don't know what's that. I don't really want to pick a side because I respect Theo, Thog Dad, and Robbie too much to go against them. And I said that to Goldbridge. I said that with Goldbridge last week.
Can I ask any comments saying why are we all bothered that he don't no longer the Bolton game? We're not. He said that's not working for his channel, so he changed his content.
Good luck to him. I mean, good luck to him.
My point is, right,
I admire him for having 500,000 subscribers.
I know he's going to do pod content, but if I got 100k, his platform, he'll still get 100k from doing a Bolton stream. He'll still get it.
I don't mind what someone else does with their content because at the end of the day, I know obviously you don't agree, but he started off with Bolton. Don't get me wrong, and do I watch his content all the time? No, I'll be honest with you. It's not.
I don't watch.
Not right for me. I think I'm still subscribed. Like I won't. Dislike his content. It's just
I don't dislike him. I never dislike him.
I don't watch much of him. I've got to be honest.
And I'll go back to.
Let's draw a line under this a minute. Let's draw the line because at the end of the day, we can all see what the level is. At the end of the day,
Dennis, comment of the night. I think Lee gets paid to stay off all the streams.
Can I say something about different?
I love it.
Different content because I spoke to on a private chat yesterday to and Lisa. If Lisa's on here, she'll know. Derby Fan TV, like everyone has their own agenda on people's channels. The issue I had with Derby Fan TV, they don't want to come on my channel, but they wanted me on their channel. That's why
I'll go back to that earlier comment as well as not everyone's going to accept to come on your channel. Like, I've had that personally. I've had emails back from John Motson saying this is not really the right one. I don't usually accept these kind of things, but best of wishes anyway. You can decline them in a respectful way. If they decline them for a paid reason, but it's a good reason not to get paid, then that's everyone's opinions. But I do think the one thing that Thugden did wrong, which I won't say in a disrespectful way, I'll say in a polite way, is it shouldn't have been made public.
Yeah. That's the be all and end of the conversation. He should have just kept it a private matter. No one would have known. It would have been that. And he could have the whole thing where people are going, oh, why didn't you get Robbie on? It could be. With that, he's got other things on at the minute, so he can't do it at this moment in time. Draw a line under it, and that's the thing. If he just kept,
I respect Theo, I respect Bogdan, I respect Robbie, I respect them all.
If I think we're only some are saying we're all digging him out. We're all digging him out, but I think we're only digging him out over the fact he went public with him.
I don't care.
I don't think we like the fact he went public with it, do we? I think
come out with fire, you get burned. End of that. If you're going to come out and call someone that on the internet,
you shouldn't call somebody
people going to say? People going to be nice about it. You're going to meet a lot, tougher people, later on in life. And put it this way, I met him, and he was all right, but he's what you'd expect on his videos. What he's in real life. It's like I met him when he was on, 10k, lovely. 300k a couple of years ago. A lot different.
Yeah, let's move on from this one anyway.
Yeah. Next topic. I don't know if no one's seen it. Right.
Lisa's bored, so there we are. We'll move on.
Is it Flex from United Stand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's seen it about. He was dug out by the Scottish Sun.
I was absolutely disgusted by that.
Yeah, that was
what happened. Just fill us in because I don't know this.
Basically,
it's about a half an hour video. I don't have a chance to watch it.
Basically, it's a guy, someone from the Scottish Sun, has digged out Flex, who works for United Fan TV, saying about he's fed up of YouTubers, going on the biggest platforms and they should stick with like how
Stick with the washing up.
basically
It's that kind of-
the panel from Sky Sports, how they got
Yes.
sacked. Now they're bringing YouTubers in.
Mm.
They should have stuck by them, but that's just hating, because like I said, I've been on the bigger platforms, and I get one or two people hating on things, but it's not my fault.
I agree with you, Joe.
It's not my fault.
I get constant hate for coming onto the Football Terrace every week, but I still come on every week because I love Terry, I love the panel, and I love being on that channel every week.
Well, it's just a topic that what's everyone's opinion about, like YouTubers going on bigger platforms. What's everyone's opinion?
Well, they ought to embrace it, don't they? Because some of these YouTube, I mean, not like, me with 3,000, but, but there's people there with, 30, 40, 100,000, 150,000 people watching, and they can bring them in loads of business into the bigger channels. If Sky get a YouTuber on that's got 500,000, if Sky get Thogden on, that's 500,000. He's got 500,000 subscribers who will know he's been on a program, which will make people follow him. So I don't understand the mentality of not wanting YouTubers on just for the fact of
it's a little bit of big media not wanting to show that the more creative coming through. Now, some are really good at it and they will promote it. Some are not, and I think
not so good, no.
It's this whole situation where should he have wrote what he wrote? No, but at the same time, he's a paid journalist. Journalists are going to write whatever they want in fairness.
Yeah, you see, it's disgusting, and I do agree in some regards. But I just think he's allowed an opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you say, women shouldn't be allowed near football commentating. In my opinion, the best about it is Alex Scott. I could listen to her all day. I think she's brilliant. She says how it is.
Yeah.
And Paul Lynch was saying something. He was total rubbish. Alex Scott not only come back as an argument, came out with facts. You know what I mean? And I do think, YouTube should work with the bigger companies. I'm lucky, like Dor, to work with Sky on numerous occasions, BBC Radio Lancashire, Talk Sport, BBC. So I have been lucky in that regard. And, I just reckon if you keep doing what you're doing, the work will get noticed.
I think, Lisa just mentioned about being
East Midlands.
East Midlands, and that was an amazing experience. Like, basically, it was like a watch along with my friend Forest fan and Lisa, and that was an amazing experience. And
on East Midlands TV was this or something?
East Midlands TV, I did a watch along with Lisa.
Oh wow!
It was amazing experience. It was last season when we drove 1-1.
Was that your first date?
Why happened? You're spoiling. Stop telling everyone.
She wasn't impressed. She got took round.
Yeah, no. That watch long. I was given a stick for 89 minutes. 89 minutes. And then when Derby scored in that 7th minute, my mouth was like this. I was like this.
By the way, all I'm going to say is that I said something the other day that will come back when we play Doncaster in April. I don't know why I said it. I was getting pelters.
You haven't said you're going to run around the pitch naked.
You're going up way. Oh yeah, your little pub team, captain. I know I was saying the other day, pub wash at sea, and all I was getting in the chat was pelters. So I thought, you play with fire, you get burned. So we scored the 3rd goal, and I was like buzzing. I was like, good night, Donny. That will come back to haunt me in a couple of months. I know how you feel, Dor.
Yeah, it was horrible. I think, like I said, we absolutely hammered Derby, hammered them, and the 97th minute, last kick of the game, they scored. And if you go on my Instagram, you'll see it, the reaction from it from me and Lisa. It was an amazing experience. It was on the news, and I've never seen that. Like, when Forest scored, my celebration was epic. I've never.
Your best reaction, Dor, was the one to the playoffs when you were just like, and then the day after you couldn't. You were like,
yeah.
I was like, Dor, we can't hear you, mate. You.
Right. I'll show you. Right.
Give me a minute.
Well, Jake's trying to find it. I think Dor for.
Dor, wait.
Oh, but put it up. Put it up. It was the best experience ever, man. It was.
Can you share your screen, Jake?
It was an amazing experience, and the the thing with BBC, I've done some work with him quite a lot now, and these things are like everything. Any platform I go on, it's a boost. It's a boost for us. So
Yeah.
Somebody was, I think Gurney was saying that they don't like YouTubers because we're a threat to them because they're not moving with the times. I think they need to see us not as a threat and more as embrace us and see how, because everything.
I was going to say that. I was going to say this Scottish sauce can use the middle finger. Absolute disgrace to YouTubers and absolute disgrace to Flex. Yes, you might have an opinion, but in my personal opinion, it's just the same that we've seen for the last few years. I'm going to take a year or two ago as an example. AFTV versus TalkSport. Simon Jordan and Jim White with his yellow tie criticising Robbie, twisting his words and trying to make it out that he was out to get them and they were trying to, get at people. And there was a thing a few years ago when DT was on TalkSport and they wanted to know about the Ozil situation. And, he came prepared with facts and they said, okay, can you say it in German? Sorry. And then, you had the whole TalkSport stuff with ATV a year or two ago. And, they were saying all these different things and, trying to twist it. Why is Simon Jordan even talking? He was a Crystal Palace owner and he got him into trouble. So why is he even talking? Because he don't know football, for goodness sakes. And, it's situations like that that make me feel disgraced. And a pure physical example on screen visually, that was an audible example. A visual example would be when it was when Unai Emery got sacked from Arsenal. Sky Sports, BT, and DT sent with the behind the videos pictures as well from it. Sky Sports and BT and all these news sources waiting to speak to Robbie and DT, waiting to speak to the fans. Moose, with his... I've got nothing against Moose. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but Moose, with his massive black and yellow microphone, comes storming in and shoves the microphone in his face.
Here we go.
Wait their turn.
Look, there it is. Oh. That's my reaction from after when Derby scored.
Let me just see if I can get that up a bit bigger. Let's just.
But yeah, they should have waited their turn because everyone else was waiting to speak to Robbie and DT about Unai Emery being sacked. Do they want your opinion now? Do they? It's awful.
They are. Which one are you, Dor? There, the one in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
I was going to guess top right.
I love you, mate, but you're a really good mate, but you can hate me for this one.
But where's the video? Put the video up.
I want the video to come up.
It's hard to do to get the to share the screen, Dor. I don't know how.
Right. Do you want to see it?
Last day of the season.
You can show us on your phone if you want to put it up. Just hang on, let me just make you big, and then we can see your phone. All right, just. Oh no! Oh, dear God. So when was this, Dor, exactly?
Last year.
Cause all of the stars are fading away. Just try not to worry. You'll be them
someday.
Wait. Leave it on.
Oh, sorry.
More.
There's more. Okay, go on.
There's more.
Just watch this.
It's like he lost his footing and slipped.
Wait, just watch the end. Just watch the end.
VAR will have to have a look at that one.
Silver inside the knee. Curls one against the post. Cash pulls it back to the penalty spot. Robert turns and shoots over the crossbar.
God, you were cracking.
Can I just say, though, what is that trim?
Oh, dude.
You look like a little Lanky Doom dog with that hair.
Just watch this now. Watch this bit. This is a sub bit. Just watch.
Oh, no.
Titanic music.
Ball is off the line. Ball is in the net, surely. Is it? Yes, it is.
Oh,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Can I just say, by the way, Door's reaction nearly rams up my personal opinion when Blackpool, not once, twice, back-to-back seasons scored equal.
That's it. That's it now.
brilliant.
Blackpool scored winners. In
Hey,
the
what are you doing? Take that off! Take it off!
Well, that
was a Stoke game. That was a Stoke
game.
That was a Stoke game. Oh, don't. Oh, don't. You know what?
I know how you feel because that reaction just reminded me when Blackpool scored 2 last-minute winners against us.
Well, you know what it is? Can I explain about the story? Basically, right, I was at my sister's house, and yeah, we lost. And my head was like this. And my sister hates football, so she took a picture of me. She's talking to my family WhatsApp one, and my sister-in-law, she's posted on Twitter, and I've looked at her. I was like, what the? Because that's my reaction. I'm not being fake. That's my reaction after losing to Stoke 4-1.
I only wish we got that TV time that Nottingham Forest did, even if it wasn't worth it.
It was, and that's what I love about. Like, so you're gonna get positive, you're gonna get negative, but but that BBC one is mad. It was mad, but
I'm just gonna put a link in the chat for there. It's an invite. If you can see that, so you can come in.
I've got to go 5 minutes late.
Okay, well, I don't know if he's still in the chat actually.
I wish you could have found my Sunderland match. I wish you could have found my Sunderland match review because I ended up screaming at a car horn.
That's for Peter Dunbar. It's Ryan Dunbar's dad, who's the analyst guy. I've put the link in there if he wants to come in to the chat. If he's still here, I don't know if he's still here in the chat because we've not seen him for a while. But definitely, we'll bring him on. If we can't get him on this week, we'll get him on another week. But anyway, that's the link there, Peter. Oh, he's here now. Oh, he's still here, right? So if you click on that link, he's still here. So if you can see that link and click on that link, and that should just bring you into the channel.
Yeah, Lee, I wish I could have sent you my Sunderland match review because I ended up getting a car horn in the background and I ended up screaming my head off after we lost 4-1 to car horn. I was like, don't you pip your horn at me, you little moron.
Hello, Peter.
Hi,
You'll have
guys.
to turn down some sound behind you there because there's something going on in the background. If you can, some sound, is it radio or TV or something? Can you just turn that sound down?
Hiya. Yeah, bear with me 2 seconds and I'll just get that sorted.
I thought it was with a Derby top then. I'd like to switch off. I'd like to switch off then.
Somebody's saying where Ed Spencer saying where's Turton Talks football? Well, hopefully he'll be phoning in the phone.
He's in bed. He's in bed.
He's in bed. Hi, this is Peter. This is Ryan Dunbar's dad. Peter
Hello,
Dunbar.
Peter.
Good evening.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, guys.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and what you've been. Because you've been with the various academies and stuff up there. And what do you do? You film games and you do analysing and just stuff.
Basically, you film the games. And then speaking to the managers and the coaching staff, you get a sort of description of what they're looking for your post-match reviews. So you'll take a game home with you, and then you'll clip the game to whatever they want to look at. There'll be certain sort of, with academies, a lot of them work with sort of themes like switch of play, combination play, creative movement, strikers movement, that sort of thing, defensive shape. And then there'll be certain aspects in the game. Might be a passage of play, there might be an incident that the management want to see again. So they'll ask for you to clip that. So you just go through that.
Right. All right. So how did you get into this?
I actually started about 8 years ago as a volunteer with Airdrie. I got working away, and then Ryan and I were at a Rangers game one night, and I just happened to say to the guy at Rangers who deals with your analysis side, and at the time they didn't have anyone in the academy. they basically got the footage from Rangers TV at the time, so they brought me on board to start with the academy. So I started with under 20s and worked with various academy teams as well. And then as the years went on and my work progressed, I got brought in to help with the home team, the first team home games, to get them filmed.
I don't know where I'm getting that from. I don't know if that's coming from you there at all. It's just a strange noise, isn't it? Okay. You'll hear it.
Oh, Lee, it's okay.
Oh, I know.
Lee, stop mentioning it.
Okay.
It's doing fine.
I
It's
know.
okay, Lee. Stop worrying, man.
I know. Oh, I know. So if somebody wanted to get into this sort of thing, you know, if we've got any youngsters out there who are interested in doing this sort of thing.
A lot of clubs up here, because of the financial restrictions.
Yeah.
A lot of clubs are looking for volunteers. When I was working with Morton, I started off with their academy, and at the time for the first team, the manager just got a couple of fans to film the games. But with all due respect to them, they were a bit unprofessional, and when the team was going through the footage, you could hear them cursing and swearing at the team for any chances that they missed and everything else. So they brought me on board to become head of analysis.
Right. Okay.
I've heard of like people doing this when there are stories of people who do like the football manager route, where they've gone on to scout a football manager and go to like faraway places. I think the one I remember very well known, if anyone doesn't know the story, a bloke managed to convince his wife at that time to go to Bulgaria for their honeymoon so he could go watch this team do the analyst, the football manager kind of thing. So it's very interesting how you don't think of that side of the game as a fan. You don't think...
I love it. It's just if you're right into your stats and looking at... Because when you're analysing a game for a pre-match, try to build a picture for the manager. So I normally start off with getting, for the opposition, for example, Blackpool are playing Rochdale this week. So what I would normally do is get a full squad listing of the team. So you would have their number, their position, their name, obviously, what foot they kick with, their height, and then their sort of stats for disciplinary. What else is there?
Weaknesses, maybe.
Well, you can look at that. You've also got
passing and pass completion,
pass completion rate, and aerial duel battle success rate.
Yeah.
So with regards to their heights, you can look at assists and goals. So, for example, if a defender, he might be 6'3", and he might have 4 goals, then that's a player to watch at set pieces.
Does it help them with analysing the youngsters' ability and how close they are to get into teams, and maybe players that might need to go out on loan at times as well?
Yeah, a lot of that, if you're looking at the sort of bringing on youth or bringing in youth, then I would assume you speak to scouts as well, because then they go into the personality of the player, whether they've got the same sort of personality and the sort of ethos that the clubs are looking for.
I'm guessing pass accuracy and shot accuracy is good for analysis as well, because I'm guessing, especially from a managerial point of view, in terms of analysing the players, I'm guessing that the accuracy of your passes, depending on the tactics and the kind of style that you're playing, and the shot accuracy for the clinicalness of the team is very important as well.
It's when you're looking at the oppositions, for example, going back to Rochdale, I'm just looking at, for the last 12-15 games, they've been playing 4-4-2, which is a fairly rigid formation, going back to old school, and it doesn't give you a sort of flexibility. You need the players, when you're picking formations like that, you need the players to understand what their jobs are. So, for example, if you're playing 2 up front, ideally, going back to the old school, where you, like Rangers, they had Mark Kelly and Alan McCloy, you had the target man striker when McCoy's playing off him. So going back to that sort of thing. But now teams are wanting their strikers or their top front men to come back and help in midfield to drop back, and also for the midfield players. If you're playing a diamond, then the sort of person at the top of the diamond, they'll trigger off the wide men that are on that diamond. So if the person at the top of the diamond, if they drop back, that'll trigger one of the wide men to go forward, for example. So it's just you're not having to know the players that can play that formation, and then what you're up against.
Have you seen a big change in the style of formation, style of player people are wanting over different kind of thing? Because you hear about the whole Barcelona, everyone trying to do the ticky-tacky Barcelona thing, and then it changed to the pet press and kind of thing. Has it all changed a little bit in what Stephen's club?
I would say the buzz formation at the moment seems to be the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Where you get the two that's just sitting there. But once again, you need the players that can do that. You're wanting someone with those two, the sitting two, you're wanting one that can play box to box, that can go beyond the midfield.
We have that in Rossiter.
Yep, and you're needing someone there that can put their foot in the ball and have a look for a pass, someone that's got a good footballing brain. But you're needing the players, once again, that can understand, and that player can see a pass. So that seems to be the formation that quite a lot of teams are going with at the moment, is a 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1.
Yeah, we have that as well. We usually have that when we've got a holding midfielder, whether that's Boss stop playing or maybe Gomez plays out of position as in a CDM square peg round holes role, and we have that Matt Smith as that exciting playmaking box to box style. We sort of play from the back in that kind of way. Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously, as you know, Ryan and I were Rangers fans, and they're playing 4-3-3. But their fullbacks play very, very high, and so for like James Tavernier, his assists and his goals are absolutely crazy stats. I mean, but you're needing the players, the good players that understand that when he goes forward, someone from midfield needs to drop back to try and cover that area, because Tavernier going forward, he's fantastic, and his assists, as I say, it's scary. It's absolutely scary. His stats, but you're needing someone with a wee bit of pace that can cover that right back area, and the same for the left back for Barisic.
I noticed on your channel.
Sorry, go on.
I noticed on your channel that you have video that you get from somewhere, don't you? And you can do like analysing, and you can highlight players. A little bit like watching Sky on your channel. Anyway, you say this. If you watch his channel, it's really good. By the way, folks, just tell us your channel again so everybody else.
It's the SPFL Through the Lens. I try not to pigeonhole where, even though I'm a Rangers fan, I don't want to just solely focus on Rangers games.
Yeah.
I try to be a wee bit more open-minded and look at most of the teams in the league. So, for example, Livingston, I've been highly impressed with Livingston. Granted, the last two games, they've dropped points, but before that, they went on a 12-game unbeaten run.
Wow.
For a team like Livingston with no budget, it just shows you the manager came on board, David Martindale, and because he was an assistant manager, they trust him. He drills it into them what they're doing. Once again, they play a 4-2-3-1, and they've got the players. The striker, he plays on the shoulder of the defenders, and he's quick in the turn, and he's got pace, and they're a fantastic squad to watch.
Just a question here for you. Are there any teams in Scotland that employ the big analytical firms, and are players now allowed to wear trackers that were previously deemed to be too dangerous? Do you know anything about this? Does this all ring a bell with you?
The trackers, I think there's the new trackers where you attach them to your football boots, and that covers your touch as well. Along with your work rate. So I can tell you complete passes and incomplete passes and everything else. The tech is just scary. Obviously, you've got your GPS that will tell you your heart rate, your work rate, what distance your coverage covered and everything else. But your big clubs, they'll obviously have some people in that do that sort of thing with regards to stats. And I mean, Mark Warburton, he had a big phrase where it was like pitch geography. And the stats on that was just absolutely, it was scary, well over my head. I mean, a lot of people now, it's getting into the sort of analytical side, are students that study it. There's a lot of courses and everything else, and that seems to be killing me a bit.
Ben does lots of stats, don't you, Ben? You're quite a statistician, aren't you?
These are just from Saturday alone.
Blimey.
Yes, stats are just, you can get stats on everything and anything.
Wow.
Literally,
Where'd you get them from then, Ben? All them stats?
I watch games. I just watch. So for the Saturday, I probably watch all their main highlights, 8-9 minute highlights of games. Watch, the last 5 or 6 games, patterns of play, what foot they scored on, like Ryan Stow's just alluded to. How many corners have they scored all season? How many penalties? I probably, before every stream, at least 2 hours of research.
Yeah, they say football's a glamorous job. It's not. The amount of hours that you do sitting in front of a screen, and it needs to be a quick turnaround.
It's like, so for Wigan exactly. So I'll keep them on board. So they just signed Corey Whelan the day before. So I just put, developed at Liverpool, went on loan to Yeovil, made 7 appearances, and then joined Crewe for the rest of that season. 18 appearances, scored 1 goal with his right foot, and then went to Phoenix Rising, 22 appearances, and then joined Wigan as a 23-year-old, been capped by Republic of Ireland at under 17s and under 21s level. Central defender, will play in a back 4. So it's just stuff like that. So it might not get mentioned in the stream, but
you've got it at hand. Yeah. I mean, your knowledge always blows me away. But I didn't realise you did that much in depth. Looking at the stats and stuff. It's brilliant.
I like watching football, and I couldn't think of anything worse going on the stream with no preparation. Going, who's that? Who's that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't listen to any commentary because.
To me.
No, I'm not saying about you, but I just can't see why.
She knows everything. Side dig.
It wasn't a dig, I promise.
Midget gems on our stream.
The sort of, because I do it by myself, and then obviously with the academy. The big clubs, they've got your normal NAC Sport and all different programs and everything else. The one that I use is Longo Match, and it does everything that I need. You can change your platform to whatever way you want it, how many tags that you want, whether it's how many passes is in the right side of the final third. You can tag how many times. You can also do individual player stats, so to build yourself a sort of passing matrix especially for goalkeeping, for a distribution. Where you can tell whether but also it can give you a better picture with regards to attacking. If someone's a wee bit weak with regards to their left foot, if they're under pressure, then that's something you can work on. And if you're playing out for the back, if it's a team that's playing out for the back, then your front 2 or your front 3 could put pressure on the back. Normally, a team's back 4 spread. Your full-backs will go high, and your 2 central defenders sometimes will go wide. So if you're putting pressure on that, then the only other way the goalkeeper has to go is put it long. So if you press high, then that sometimes works for you, as long as you get the second ball or win the aerial battle in midfield when the ball comes out. So it's different things that you can pick up on.
I was going to ask, because we were speaking earlier about Tavernier's stats being absolutely crazy. And my question was all about adjusting to different leagues, because I think Tavernier with his stats in his league puts even some Premier League right backs to shame. But if he came into the Premier League, so I think he's been a Premier League player before, if he came into the Premier League or back to the Premier League, how would adjusting to different leagues differ the stats? Because if his stats are on a consistent positive run, if changing to a different league, maybe in the summer, going into a new season with those stats going into the new season, maybe that sort of new league differs the form of those positive stats from his assisting goals and crosses.
To be honest with you, it all depends on how the manager wants the player to play, what his role's going to be in the pitch. Or what the team's style of play is. That might not be a thing that manager in the Premier League want them to go. They might not want them to drive forward.
Yeah,
having someone like that.
Liverpool might be a good option because they sort of play that kind of way.
Yeah, well, if you can cross a ball, his crossing's pretty accurate. And if he gets the supply and he's playing with better players, then I can see him. I don't see why not. but he's also playing against better players. Let's not kid ourselves. So it just all depends on how he can cope. It's that old question: can that player move up a level? It's the same when players like maybe Blackpool, Fleetwood, whatever team you support. If you get a player from the lower divisions, are they going to cope with the demands? But also, playing for a club like Rangers and Celtic, the demands, the mental demands on you to win every single game, you'll not have that with, I would say, a high percentage of the team in England. You won't have that. Even if you went to a team like Arsenal, that demand, if you walk off the pitch, one each draw, then so be it. But if Rangers come off the pitch with a one each draw,
and I use Max Waters as an example. You know, he was at Crawley and now he's in the Championship straight away with Cardiff. After he came to Crawley after his release by us, and he's now at Cardiff in the Championship. And like you said, it was about how do you cope with those standards? Because we released Waters. He's gone on to have a brilliant 6 months at Crawley. Cardiff pick him up. How is he going to adjust to Championship style? How is he going to adjust to that competition and that increase in competition? Because, like you said, he plays against good players, and then he plays against better players than him. So anything can happen.
Look at Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson came from a part-time team, Queen's Park, up in Scotland. Went to Livingston. Now he's one of the best left-backs in the country with Liverpool. So it's just
Jamie Vardy.
He was the other one I was thinking of. But it just all depends. But with regards to stats, you could have stats coming out your ears. It's just crazy.
Do you think there's, the Premier League clubs pay a lot of money for this sort of thing because they want to know everything about the opposition they're playing, the weaknesses, I should imagine it's analysed to the nth degree because they sussed Blackpool out. We kind of took them by surprise, and then after Christmas they started to see that we had he had a spare man, and they picked up on it. Somebody picked up on it, and they nullified the second half of the season. We didn't have quite the joy we did in the first half, but they obviously analyse all these games.
The scary fact of the financial difference is a team like Southampton, where they'll have full-time analysts even for their under-9s. That's just mental, absolutely crazy. Where they've got full-time analysts for the under-9 squads. Wow. Well, up here it's volunteers and different coaching staff. Some teams will have coaches doubled up to video games or analyse games and stuff like that. So the finances up here is just night and day. Not a different atmosphere. Different.
That we've got a young lad in our first come through our academy called Steve Show about to possibly go to Celtic and sign a free agreement. So I'll be interested. Our fan base going, they started talking about it and it came out of nowhere. But I'm guessing they've had that sort of for months and months and months. They've seen him go to the academy, seeing what he can do, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
it's one of those interesting ones where I don't think fans. We know that it's there, but we don't really go into that side of it. You know what I mean?
No. It's
you don't think as a that side.
No, it's fans will always just be fans, where they'll give their own views, and whether it's right or wrong, whether you agree or disagree with them, sometimes. But there's always a bigger picture with regards to whether you've got a player that might be having to play due to injury, having to play out of position, so he's not had a great game. You've got all different things. You all know that yourselves. You all watch football. You might look at a player and think he might be better off as a right back. He might be better off as central defender or whatever. So it's trying to look at the stats, and there's a bigger picture in the football industry.
Yeah, just ask Aaron if you just mute your mic until you want to talk, because it's coming from you. That noise, I don't know what it is, but if you just mute it until you want to talk, because it's better. That's great. So you actually go and film the games, don't you, as well?
Yes.
You film them.
Yeah, it was better with the first team because you were in a stadium. In the academies, then you're always at training pitches. I've been on scaffolding, I've been on roofs, I've been on containers, just to try and get a bit of leverage. everything dangerous. Try to carry a laptop and cameras and tripods, and it's absolutely crazy. I would love one of those sort of high pods, capture mask things, but they're thousands. They're like $5,000
When
for a piece of kit.
when I went down to film at Squires Gate in my non-league diaries, they'd won one of these things. It was up on a big pole, and they had a guy down at the bottom.
That's right. Yeah.
They won that.
Mast.
I think they won it for. I think he was telling me if you go on the thing that the guy tells me about, I think it cost 25,000 or something. But they
that's
won
what I'm saying. It's $5,000.
$5,000. Yeah, they're quite expensive, but it's brilliant. It's on a big long pole, isn't it? And then at the bottom,
that's right.
It's all and then you can move it around. You can track them, and
it's great until the cables become loose. Then you have to bring it all the way down to try and reattach it.
Would it be an investment for you to do that? And could you get paid? Because I take it you do most of this for free, do you?
No, I get paid.
You get paid?
St Mirren. Yeah, I get paid by St Mirren.
Could you not do a deal with them to buy it and then pay a bit more to kind of recoup it? Because it would be very useful, wouldn't it?
They do have something at the moment for the sort of lower age group team that's VOCam. And that sort of follows. It's a brilliant piece of kit, but it's the size of files on it. It's just crazy.
Massive.
I mean, it's absolutely massive. Where it would take me longer just to download the game, far less.
The things if you have that, you then got to then invest in your hard drives and everything else. It's not just buying equipment, in it. It's buying everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, it's not just a simple case of taking your SIM card out and putting it into your laptop and downloading the game or anything. It's stupid, absolutely stupid, the size of files on it.
Yeah, I can imagine. So at the moment, you're not going. You're just analysing games on TV. Are you at the moment? Is that what you're doing at the moment? Or do you still go down to the grounds? And
no, obviously because of COVID, you're not allowed in unless you get a press pass. So what I'll do is I'll go into something like Y-Scout or Transfer Market or somewhere where I can get the games are going to the sort of SPFL Dropbox file.
What's Y-Scout? What is
Y-Scout? Y-Scout is basically a file where it's a web page, a platform where you get every single stat, figures, formations on every player of every club. Oh, so if you're looking,
you have to pay for that.
Yes, that runs into thousands, and that's a club
that
paid for that.
Then, wouldn't it?
That's
saving a lot of writing down things. If you could just go straight on a website and get all those stats that you need.
I like it though. I like that joy of it.
Yeah.
Transfer Market's good. Transfer Market's good.
Is it?
I don't know if you use that, Ben.
Yeah. I use a lot of different apps, to be fair. But
what do you use, Ben? What do you use?
I just honestly, literally, a couple of football apps, or mostly I come from football games that I've watched, and like I'll watch all the games, and literally. Oh, Jeff got scored again, So I think the other day I had stats of Plymouth that they scored, 16 goals from Jeff, got 38 in total. So he scored, majority of their goals. So, just stuff like that, really.
Yeah, if you try Transfer Market, but it's Transfer Market with markt.com. That even gives you stats on the manager. How many games the club's managed, how many games he's been, and how many. So, for example, the Rochdale manager, he's managed them 86 times before, after he'd been full-time manager, because apparently he was 4 games caretaker manager.
Yeah, he came in, didn't he, after
so he said 86 games as manager. He's won 28, drawn 17, lost 41. And the amount of points.
But this is a Rochdale side, Lee, that don't have much cash.
I know. Can they not afford to sack him, do you think? Is that what it is?
No, it's not that. To be fair, for what they have in their team, they lost Callum Camps, lost Henderson, they lost Matheson, they lost a couple of others. So they're doing very well to stay in the league. Never mind.
Yeah. And their youngster, Quado Barr's gone to Manchester City, who's very exciting. I'm not going to lie, Rochdale have bred a very good young talent to Manchester City, and see what Pep Guardiola can do with him. So, to be fair, I was going to ask about from using analysis and analysing stats on a managerial standpoint, because I'll be completely open and honest. Before I was doing acting, I wanted to become a football manager, and I sort of wanted to look into the analysis side of things and sort of how that spreads into the manager's game plan, shall we say. So could the analysis of players from an outside perspective and also an in-club perspective, if looking at this analysis, could that then maybe affect maybe manager decisions? Could it help managers to bring youth into the first team and take the risks and take the gambles, etc.?
Well, with regards to bringing youth into the first team, that's with the manager. He'll sit and watch the reserve games. He'll get footage from the reserve games and have a look at players. He'll ask the analyst team to individual tag that certain player for anything, whether it's he's off the ball running, maybe taking players away so to create space through the middle, different other things. And then he'll obviously speak to that player's manager, coach, and find out what his temperament's like. I mean, you've got, unfortunately, with Rangers, you've got these two young lads that were allegedly reported about going to a party over the weekend. So it's trying to look into their temperaments and whether they can move up. Now, being a good player at Rangers, Celtic, Man United, Liverpool, sometimes is not good enough to be a good player.
Sometimes
you need to be mentally strong. It's fine having all the skill in the world, but if you're not mentally strong to deal with that sort of pressure.
Prime example is James Milner, in my opinion. Not the most skillful, not the most gifted, versatile, leader, experience, maybe had a bit of hate, played in, right midfield, left midfield, centre mid, centre half, left back, right back. I'd like to see him in goal before he retires. That'd be a nice one. But he just oozes class. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I was looking at his stats.
He's like a Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I was comparing him his stats because my dad mentioned how many goals do you think Fred scored. So he obviously 2018-19. Milner 7 goals, 7 assists. Most of his goals have come from penalties, but he's still creating a lot of. Fred only a goal, no assist. So like a difference in the players. Milner isn't there for creating, but he's still creating a bit. And in my opinion, Liverpool, need Milner. Because I think he'll be a coach one day, Milner. I really do, because he's a proper leader. And I heard Neil Critchley talking. When he was I think it was a Shrewsbury game. Milner was out injured, so he couldn't play. And all the young lads were playing in Shrewsbury. So he went in and gave him a team talk. He literally 5 minutes of motivation.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah, so it's like I just think that stuff like that, fair play to him.
Football's like celebrities. Football's like celebrities. You've got to have the mental strength to deal with off the pitch incidents, in the pitch incidents, the talk about you, because the media, whatever our opinion on the British media is, they can have their best bits, they can have their worst bits, exactly. And, like you said, they've got to have that mental strength to cope with all of that, plus keep trying to pursue their talents. Because, even the greatest players of all time aren't immortal all the time. So it's all about having, like you said, that mental strength to deal with all.
I've been watching Sunderland Till I Die recently, just the first one. We've actually watched it now with great. Yeah, and you just see the pressure that young lad that they signed. In the main strike in the first series, the main. Yeah. No, not Madge. The guy they got in on loan. They lost. Oh
yes, Ashley Fletcher.
Yeah, and he couldn't score, could he? And he finally got a goal. And he just wouldn't go for him, would he? And they lost the good striker who was on loan. He went back because because he took him off a few games on 64 minutes, and he just was like, no, I'm not having that. I'm off. And it really, looking back, it'd have been better leaving him on, because they lost a great player there, didn't they? And that probably cost him going down that season. And but I thought
my view is, people say, "Oh, we've not got a captain in the team." Every team should have 11 captains on the pitch.
Spot on.
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
If you're having a bad game, as long as you're putting in 100% effort,
everyone should be a leader.
Then play for the team.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You need, like we say him again, you need a Milne in your team. Fleetwood's a prime example. I'm lucky enough to actually, I got an opportunity at the start of the year. Join a sponsor, Callum Connor, and I thought about it and I thought, yeah, go on then. Because of the opportunities that it leads to. Big fee, but, you know, I thought at the end of the day it'll be worth it. Unfortunately, I got to meet him yet. But he's 21 years of age. He obviously before Mulgrew, he was playing with a 19-year-old and an 18-year-old in the middle of that defence. He was literally managing them through the game. He was shouting because I never knew what he was doing until I watched it back. He was shouting at them. He was, you know, getting them up, praising them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, telling them when to move out. He was captain for a few games. And I remember one shot against Wickham away. It was just over a year ago now, and we were 1-0 up. And Fleetwood, I think, won the previous 3 games. And we're on a good run. Ended up going 12 unbeaten in the season, got curtailed. And 1-0 against Wickham. Only lost 1 game at home to Coventry, who were top of the league. 1-0 up. Last minute of the game, they have a shot going to the top corner. Connolly, without a doubt, on the 18-yard box, literally jumps and dives for it. It smashes him in the face, and literally he's bleeding. Barton trying to get him off, and he's like, basically telling him to get lost. He's still got 2 minutes to hold on. And I just think stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a
warrior.
Yeah, warrior. Yeah, you know, that's
he's
what
not,
you
he's
want.
not the prettiest of players, but he's, you know, he gets his body in the line. And honestly, players like that, I love. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot about the team spirit.
What did you think about him?
I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I didn't like him. As a man, I loved him. I know that's going to sound weird, but
no, it's not.
I'm going to be honest with you. Joey Barton is, I'm going to say this now, is the most cleverest man I have ever met, because his football knowledge is down to, like, we're having a chat. Oh, and he's telling me like the reason for the plays, and you know something. Did he do things that I didn't agree with at Town? Yeah. But you know something, he took my opinions on board, and that's what I liked about him. And he said, you know, I agree with that.
He seems like he's someone that's always willing to.
Yeah, it was funny because I got in trouble a bit at the college because I said after Burton, I was fuming that we lost 1-0. I said we were awful. And he goes, yeah, we were shy. And I'm like, you know something? Fair play. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was listening to an interview we did a year ago today, after we beat Peterborough, form team in the division, and we beat Port. We had Port coming up, we beat them. We had Wickham, we beat them, we beat Wimbledon. He goes, we've just beaten Wimbledon, we've just beat Wickham, just beat Peterborough. Who next? We'll take on anyone. And, you know, sometimes these press conferences got me in trouble, but I liked him. But it was time to move on when he left, because I just felt the relationship between him and Pilly staled up. And I wish the guy nothing but the best of luck, because how he was with me, I'll never forget that.
That's because when he was with Rangers at pre-season, when he was in the training ground, training every single day, in the gym, kicking balls about and everything else. And then I think it was the Old Firm game. We get absolutely battered. And it threw a wobbler in the dressing room, saying this is not good enough. And because he had an argument with a couple of the players saying you weren't good enough, it's just ridiculous. I thought he was a winner.
Yeah.
Football Prime Ginger's just joined. He's a YouTuber from Celtic YouTube, and he's saying he's not a Scottish lad on. He's actually Ryan Dunbar's dad, and everybody in Scotland knows Ryan Dunbar. So he's actually Ryan Dunbar's dad who talks more sense than Ryan Dunbar.
Wouldn't be hard.
No offense, Ryan. He said
one thing that Joey brought,
he's football, but he's my dad. He's a blue nose. There you go.
One thing that Joey brought, he literally changed the culture. So it was like, all right, then we win or we learn. And I'm like, I like that statement. Do you know what I mean? And then
we're having fun.
Statements, like he's just like, so like, you know, he goes, oh, you know, we can't do anything in this lockdown. What are we going to do? Oh, he got fit, lost 9 kilograms, came back in the best shape. You know, he says, well, if I'm asking my players to eat healthy during lockdown and, you know, not, you know, get down, I need to set an example. And I'll be back in management very soon. And I read his book actually during lockdown. He actually gave it to me. He signed it for me. And
going to Bristol Rovers.
Oh, it's Bristol Rovers, isn't it? Has he gone to Bristol Rovers?
He's not gone yet, but he's close.
Yeah.
So,
surely they won't take him on before the trial.
Yeah, like I say, he divides opinion. I did think he needed to go, not for results based, just to freshen the changing room up. I wouldn't have minded him staying till the end of the year, if I'm honest with you, because, you know, he would have, you know, we wouldn't have been in this mess. But You know, he's a top man. He's a winner. He's a warrior. And I'm being on. I've said it many times that he's got a lot of things wrong in his past, but all you can judge is on how he's going to improve on his life. And in the last, 18 months, I think he's done that.
Yeah, and I like Big Clint as well.
Oh, he's a top man. Yeah. But you can have Barry Mackay back.
No, well, I'll tell you a story about Barry Mackay. When I worked with Barry in the when I was at the academy, and he thought he was Barry Big Bollocks, because he had a good few first team games, but he got brought down to the academy games, and his attitude stunk. He came in late for pre-match meal. Everyone's sitting down. We're all sitting down getting ready for pre-match, and he stots in because the academy team and the first team had sort of separate clothing. It was Puma at the time, and he came in with his sort of first team Puma top on, and his attitude was just terrible. And then he played the first half against Partick Thistle at Firhill, and I still remember Alan McCoy's coming down into the dressing room and saying, "You're not going to the second half." And Alan McCoy wasn't even the academy manager at the time.
Wow.
His attitude.
He played a development squad game for us on Wednesday, and it's like, if it doesn't suit him, you know what I mean? Like, he's technically very, very different. When he first came in... He's
got talent, but his attitude, that's what I was just saying earlier on there. About his attitude.
That's why you're in League One, and that's his reason.
Yeah, his attitude was all wrong. His attitude was all wrong.
I'm interested to get your thoughts on Darren Moore. I'm interested to get your thoughts on him because, obviously he's done wonders for us this season. Obviously there's been slip-ups along the way. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts as to, why he's been doing great from us. I'd love to sort of understand that from obviously we know why he's doing good, but I want to sort of hear your perspective on it.
To be honest with you, I don't really know because I don't really follow English football. I'll have my sort of views on certain teams, but my main focus is just on Scottish football. That's what I mean.
Did Alan McCoy fall out with John Fleck? Gurney's saying, is that right? Alan McCoy's fell out with John Fleck?
No. John Fleck was an art player. It had bags and bags of skill and talent. And sometimes with young players, their attitude changes as soon as they get a sniff at the first team.
Is there any who we should all be keeping an eye out for who could be one that could be a rough diamond?
With the academy team, I've always liked young Dapo Mabuti. He's really good, great striker. I briefly worked with Billy Gilmore in the academy, and you could see when he was under 15s, under 14s, his skill and his talent. He's just seen a pass. His football brain was well advanced at his age. It was just, his passing was just, but he needed players on the same wavelength. You know yourself, when you've got a player where he's much better than the rest of the team, you think his passing's terrible. It's just because he can see a pass, 2 passes, 3 passes in front.
Everyone else can't.
When everyone else can't.
Yeah, I get that. What do you think of Rossiter? Because personally, if he would have stayed fit last year, we would have gone up. And he came back this year. I felt like he struggled when he came back, but now he's form again. And I saw him actually at Pulfoot at the training complex, and he called me up. He goes, "Nappers," and I'm like, so I'm literally like my tits are flapping. I'm a bit like, where what's going to skate? He goes, "I watched the video, mate. I thought it was a good watch, but what's this? I'm not a goal scorer." I went, "Well, you've not scored, have you?" And he goes, "Well, this year I'll score a goal." And then he goes, and since then he's been having shots from about 35 yards out, and they've been going well over the bar, and I've just been going. It's like I'm thinking about making a compilation to him and sending it to him at the end of the year. When is my point justified yet? But no, he's a top man, and he's a leader.
Rossiter was a good player.
He's a lovely lad as well, isn't he?
Aye, and his dad. He's very like his dad. Ryan and I met him at Parkhead one day at one of the Old Firm games, and he's a really, really nice guy. Him and his brother and his dad. But the players that I liked was Ryan Hardy. Ryan Hardy was phenomenal at the academy.
He came to Blackpool and we sent him to Plymouth. He was scoring. We had him and put him out on loan to Plymouth because I don't know, we didn't give him a chance really, and then they loved him down there, and of course we just let him go. But I thought he looked great, Ryan Hardy. I totally agree.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great
Can't
player.
believe we let him go.
It's the same with Jordan Thompson.
There's a young player we've got as well that's on loan from Celtic called Scott Robertson, CDM. I was interested in your thoughts if you've studied him a lot because, you know, he came into that number 10 role when he came off the bench for his first appearance for Donny. I thought it looked kind of good. And, of course, a young Celtic player. And I know a lot of Celtic fans, when he signed on loan to us for the rest of the season, a lot of Celtic fans were like, why did we bring him back and then loan him out again? He's an exciting young talent. Why can't Neil Lennon bring him in? What could we be excited for about Scott Robertson, maybe?
Well, he seems really creative player, and he just needs the talent's there. But I think Celtic might want him to just get first team experience. Where the demands of first team football, where you have to win a game because it means points and promotion and relegation. So you've got a sort of different demand playing in the first team rather than playing in reserve games. So the teams need to really install that, especially Rangers and Celtic. I mean, a couple of seasons ago, Rangers didn't play in the academy leagues. They went and played a sort of European league. They were playing teams like Bayer Leverkusen and Real Madrid and a lot of different European clubs, and that seemed to help them in a good stead. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't see eye to eye to Craig Mulholland, the director of the Rangers Academy, but he's got them in the right track.
He's out of contract in the summer, so I'm guessing he'll probably sign a new contract then at Celtic at the end of the season.
Celtic are a little bit of the youth team players at the minute because there's a lot of youth team players exiting very quickly, and it's a little bit of a mess in that sense.
If, with regards to, I wouldn't, if my boys played football, I wouldn't have them going to Rangers or Celtic.
One of the stories from Barry Bannon at Wednesday when he was in Celtic books, they had a game. They had it. It was late. It was a late night game. Everyone got off the bus, but no one told them what time they were ending. So you just had to say. And Celtic drove off, left him there, and his dad said, "You're not playing for them again," and took him back down to England, kind of thing, and got him in Villa's thing. And he said, "You're not doing it. If that's how you look after the youth team, that's not how you do it."
I don't know about that, but I know when, as at Rangers Academy, all the players were looked after. And that's part of the problem. Everything is there for them. See, before they go to a match, as I said, you get pre-match. They all meet, and they've got pre-match meals. All their kit is all ready for them. Sometimes players like Billy Gilmore, they're getting sponsorship deals by Adidas at the age of 15.
Yeah.
You know, they've got everything for them.
Players spoiled,
yeah. I mean, when you go back to players in the 80s and the 90s where they had to do an apprenticeship, they're having to sweep the stands before match days and clean boots and all that sort of thing.
They're pampered, aren't they now, these kids? You know, they really are pampered. There's so much money in it. You know, there's so much money to bring a kid through and suddenly send him for a few million. You know, it's just this incredible amount of money, and just one child, you know, just one kid coming through every 5 years will pay for the academy and everything else, won't it? You know, it's
my view. The way to tell how good an academy is run is their pathway out of the club.
Yeah,
how they release players. At the end of the day, we all know maybe 1 out of 20 will make it, or even higher than that. And it all depends on how the clubs treat that player. Do they try and focus? Okay, unfortunately, you might not be good enough for us. However, we've went and got you. We've got you a trial at this club. We think that might be your level.
That whole
to get you back in,
instead of just putting the crap heath and going, you're gone.
Yeah.
I think you get a lot of that with youngsters, don't you? As soon as they haven't got that dream, there's nothing there.
How many players have left football because of it? Their heart is broken. Their dreams are gone.
Well, there's a lad that committed suicide, wasn't there?
For young footballers that don't make it, where they have, I think, who was it? It was it Leon Osmond, something like that, or Jonathan Walters? That was it. Put out a tweet saying he wants to, if people don't make it or when they retire, they want something done for those players, because look at that City lad who passed away, who, you know, didn't make it, and I just feel like something more needs to be done. Like, oh, you've not made it in football, but there's always, analytics, or there's always coaching, or there's always, grassroots. You know what I mean? Where you can get paid opportunities for doing the game you love.
Yeah.
Well, there's an ex-Wendy lad who went on to, I think he went to work Town, and he just gave up. He's now an electrician. He just gave up on the game because he didn't even want to play Sunday League because I tried it, not worked.
My best mate's younger brother, was at Oldham Academy, and he didn't make it. He had an injury that they just couldn't sort out in his YTS, and he went out to America, and he's got a soccer school now out there. It's married an American. He's got a massive all around Washington. It's Steve Natman Football Academies. He's done really, really well.
Stephen what?
Steve Natman. Yeah. What a name, eh? Yeah, Steve Natman Football Academies. Yeah, mate.
It's interesting, this whole debate of sort of pathways out of clubs if you don't exactly make it, because I've said for a number of years now what I want to see that helps these lower league clubs to help give them a pathway to keep them passionate about the game. It all comes from helping these lower league clubs sort of get to, obviously they're not going to get to Premier League standard, but at least get close. So the gap between the Premier League and the Football League and the non-league is not as wide as it is at the minute. And, you look at what the Premier League's had since the 90s and the early 80s. They've had these television deals and all these TV revenues and extra ways to make money through sponsorships, etc. And the lower leagues haven't really had that sort of revenue situation. So, I've said for a few years now, my situation, if it was possible, would be to have a Sky Sports Championship, a Sky Sports League 1, a Sky Sports League 2, and have BT Sport keep covering the National League as they do, and have that red button option so that every game gets the equal amount every team gets the equal amount of game time on Sky Sports every single season.
BT have done that.
More money is pumped into these lower clubs.
From the September till the December, they made sure at least everyone was on once, which I liked.
Yeah. See, there's other. I think there's teams this season that haven't been on though, and I don't think they look like they're going on this season.
Yeah, but would think of the fan bases? Would you pay? They're going to get a lot more for something like Wrexham versus Chester, a big derby, aren't they? Or Wrexham, against Stockport, then Dover against Boreham Wood, aren't they? So in a way, it is a business. It's like you wouldn't, cover, the really lowest team, fan base game unless you really wanted to, because they want to try and bring as much money in, more subscriptions as they can. But I like the idea of, I've always said they should have at least one League One or one League Two game on a week.
Yeah, I agree with that. But to be fair, that's why I said have a red button option so that you have the main game that you want to put on from that league, then have a red button option so fans of other teams that might not have the main channel coverage can still watch their games. So the teams are still getting the same amount of money as what a big game from a lower division would get if it was televised. So it means that all the games are televised technically, but most of them are on a red button option, even though they're still not on the main channel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we're coming up to 10 o'clock, guys. It's been an incredible last hour. Peter, you've been an amazing guest. I know you've got to get off. I know James.
Thanks very much, guys, for having me.
Legs.
Thanks, mate. See you later.
It's been a pleasure having you on. We'll definitely try and get you a bit earlier next time.
Thank you.
Aaron, you've been superb. It's been a superb guest. Thanks for coming on. If you catch this on the rerun, folks, hopefully we'll see you, another time live. Get in the chat. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. I've had a great time tonight. I think it's been really, really. I think it's been one of the best shows we've done, guys, so far. I've really enjoyed it.
That last hour was probably the best hour on the show.
I've learned so much from football. I've learned so much from that conversation alone than I have done for the last 5-10 years as a child wanting to be a manager.
Yeah, definitely. And these are the kind of guests we want on. So if we know people that can come on like Peter and talk about things that go on behind the scenes, academy managers, anything like that, we'd love to get these kind of guests on one because it's interesting. It's it's interesting stuff and stuff we don't know and stuff we've learned tonight. And we've actually learned that Ben has 25,000 notes on every game that he does, which is quite impressive.
I asked him before this, and I knew this already. Just ask him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a
Thank you for a
pleasure.
good show, guys, and thank you for those commenting at home.
Thank you, guys. Keep subscribing to Lee Charles TV down below, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next show.
Yeah, and also Cos Vlogs and Chef 41, and if you've enjoyed SPFL Through the Lens, make sure you give him a sub as well. And Jake Chef
Shall I
41.
put my channels in quickly?
Yes, go on. Yes, tell us the channel.
Yeah, so I've got 2 channels. So the football one is Forever Football DRFC. Basically, that's previews, reviews, everything like that to do with Donny. And then I've got Coaster Chow, hopefully trying to get to 4,000 subs and 1 million views, because then at the end of the year, I get made into a toy. So that would be a nice surprise.
Fantastic. So let's see if we can get him made into a toy. Thank you very much. I will put links to the channels in the comment section below the video. Thank you very much for joining in. Thanks, guys. We're going to go to the outro. See you all again in a week's time.
See you later, guys.
Thanks for watching.
See ya.